This week's hidden gem is a subsoiler. For those of you who don't know, a subsoiler is sort of like a mixture between a cultivator and a plough. It kind of does both things at the same time. It is a lot easier than ploughing. I personally detest ploughing a lot. So subsoilers really are a godsend. And this week's is the Agrisem Cultiplow Platinum 8 meter, which is quite honestly brilliant in every way. It does, however, have a lot of requirements. So it does require 435 horsepower or 320 kilowatts. It has an 8 meter width, which is a lot wider and again a lot easier to use than most plows, but it is a little bit thinner than the cultivators that you can buy. So it depends. If you want to go over and do ploughing and then cultivating, or if you just want to do cultivating, then there are going to be, you know, wider and better options out there. Take a look at the Rosamash K1200 that I looked at not too long ago. You can go a whopping 12 kilometers per hour when being used, which I think, if I remember rightly, is slower than a cultivator but faster than a plough. Like I said, it's kind of an in-between. And uses the T404 and the AW305 wheels. It has got an extremely long hitch point, which again allows you that maneuverability. And the biggest sort of advantage over a plough for me is the fact that it is directly behind you and it is straight. Ploughs tend to go at a diagonal angle and just very, very awkward to use. It's a lot easier to use a shorter plough, but obviously takes a lot longer. Whereas the long plough is not ideal for sort of turning around and being in tight fields, which on Calmsden, you are a lot. The only other real competitor to the Platinum is the Bednarr FB3000-T06000-PT6000. It is a beast of a machine. It looks like something that could be in Transformers, and it is a seeder, a plougher, a cultivator, and what looks like a roller all in one. It is incredibly long. It has a massive amount of power requirements, but it also looks like it is quite difficult to use. The subsoiler is simple. It's got a hitch, a decent amount of length between the wheels, and you just crack on. Whereas this looks like it could be just a little bit more awkward to use, and as a result, probably not as good. However, you do have a 3,000 litre capacity for the seeds. It does weigh 8.7 tons. It does require 500 brake horsepower. It only has a 6 meter width. You can go 15 kilometers per hour when using it, and it uses the TH400s and the AW305s, the same as the Platinum. It is a little bit more at £79,000. The Platinum was 68,000, I do believe. So it's a little bit more, but you do get a lot more machine for your money. Either of these options are fantastic. I'm going to focus on the Platinum today just because it is a very simple, just alternative to ploughing, whereas this does a little bit more, and like I say, is probably not as easy to maneuver around the field. Both are incredible options though, and 1001% would take those over a plough. Okay, so here we are. We are using the subsoiler on one of my fields that I've literally just harvested from, or baled and made a load of silage out of, but I want to turn it into something more arable sort of esque, and we're going to use the subsoiler to do that instead of ploughing, because I cannot be bothered with ploughing. I hate it. This is so much easier, so much faster, nicer to look at, and just works. It's just simple. You basically come around, you have it behind you, like I say, you've got the long hitch, and you just go and subsoil and plough away, and it's really, really nice and easy. It's very much you're paying for the convenience, right? The price of the ploughs vary, but they do tend to be quite expensive for what you get. And like I say, if you're using a short plough, which is only a 3 or 4 meter width, it can take a long time as a result to sort of get around the field. You've got to do it properly. Excuse me. To do it properly, you have to sort of line up, go up and down. You can't really do it around and around, it looks messy as hell. Whereas this, you can go around, do the headlands, and then fill it in and just make it much easier. Now, my bad farming aside, hitting all the edges, you can see the difference in the land straight away. It is cultivating at the same time as ploughing, so it's sort of 2 jobs in one, and it just makes the earth ready for the next crop. I do not mind paying a little bit extra for convenience. Again, this is £68,000, but it is such a useful piece of equipment, and it's probably a little bit better to buy this than buying the Rosamash straight away as well. I don't know whether you can get away with using this for ploughing or cultivating contracts. So if you are looking at doing contracts to make yourself a little bit of extra cash, the Rosamash will still win. But for your own fields, this will count as ploughing, and it will count as cultivating, and it will enable you to do the next sort of sowing on fresh land to give you a high yield. So there you have it. Not a very long video today, guys, but something that I feel a lot of people don't know about or forget is that, you know, the subsoilers are a thing that exists in the game, and they do make your life so very much easier. Let me know in those comments down below if you agree or disagree. If you prefer ploughing over subsoiling, do let me know. I would be interested to see the difference in opinion on that one. And until next time, guys, I will see you all later on.